Hi everyone. A few months back I went to Disneyland and they had these really beautiful looking Disney themed caramel apples for sale. So I thought I'd recreate it in polymer clay, a little miniature version, because it's just so cool. Um, so this video is going to show you how to do it. Let's get started. You're going to need red clay, chocolate color, yellow, white, and sand in the color of clay you want to use. So choose clay that's close enough to the sand color, and if you choose to do a pink one, pink sand. And what I did is I made a mold out of a dot candy to make the apple shape. Then I cut a toothpick into pieces to be used as the stick. You'll need liquid clay as a glue to stick everything together, and a circle cutter that's about that size, a smaller circle cutter, tiniest one you can find, a really good thin knife, and a needle tool. If you're going to be using a mold, roll your clay so it'll fit inside, and then just press it down until you think it has taken the shape. Okay, once you take it out, pop it into your fridge or freezer for about 5 to 10 minutes. That'll just firm up the clay so it's easier to slice. And then just take a thin knife and trim it from the excess clay. Then with your finger at the bottom, press it down to give it a softer edge. You can see there it's a little softer on the bottom. It's not so sharp. Then take some chocolate clay and roll it pretty thin. Use the larger circle cutter to cut out a circle. If you're making two apples, two circles. Okay, next, place the circle on top and gently press it down. And then keep pressing down until it's in the position that you want it to be, when it's to your liking. And don't press the chocolate layer too much because you want it to be a bit higher than the red layer. After you add the sand, it'll kind of blend in. Okay, for this part, you're going to need some liquid clay and only put it on the red part. Be really careful when you get towards the top. Make sure none of it touches the chocolate. And just cover everything that's red. After that, dip the area you covered in liquid clay in the sand. You can always add more liquid clay if there's some bald spots. Then some of it might stick to the chocolate, so use a dry paintbrush and brush all the extra sand off. Then, once that's done, add your toothpick. You can put it in the center or angle it a bit. It's up to you. Roll out a coil of chocolate clay and use a knife to cut out kind of a marshmallow size, what you think a marshmallow would look like at the scale of apple you're making. Then use your finger to press the edges to make them look more soft, like a marshmallow would be. And make two, of course, per apple. Use a bit of liquid clay as glue to glue the ears down. And if any extra glue comes out, you can always just scoop it up with your finger or a needle tool or something. This next part, with the yellow clay, roll out some buttons like that. Use the liquid clay to glue it to the front. And press it down so it's really on there. And I used a little bit too much, so I used a needle tool to wipe off the excess. Then for the other style of apple, roll out a thin sheet of white clay and use the tiny little cutter to cut out some white circles. Put a little liquid clay on them. And place it in the spot you want. I press mine down a little bit so they wouldn't have so much of a pointy edge. Then the second one, you can put lower. So it's like a polka dot pattern instead of just a uniform pattern, just like that. Take the same size cutter and use it on some red clay that's been rolled out really thin. And with the circles you created, pinch one edge so it turns into a teardrop kind of shape, and do it to the other one. And stick them together. Add a strip of the same color down the middle and trim it so it fits onto the shape. Then use a needle tool to put a little detail into the bow. So you get something like that. Use some liquid clay to glue it on. And there you go. Disneyland inspired caramel apple miniature charm a McJigs. If you want it to be a charm, add a little metal loop finding thing. I don't know what it's really called. And there you go. Bake it according to the clay instructions, and that's it. Bye! And one thing I forgot to mention is after the apples have been baked, you should add a layer of clear gloss. That'll help keep the sand from falling off over time. And I would also suggest taking the toothpick out and using some glue to glue it in so it won't fall out over time. Also, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye!